So, you want to explore New Zealand, chase hobbits through Middle-earth, and live that perfectly organized van life dream? You've clicked on the right video. I'm taking you on the ultimate 14-day New Zealand road trip, from Auckland's city buzz to standing where Gandalf literally stood, all while rocking the camper van life. Why 14 days? It's the sweet spot. Both islands, Lord of the Rings spots, freedom camping, and maybe a bit of controlled falling, aka bungee jumping. This isn't your usual list of places. It's a full strategy guide with van pickup tips, GPS pins for every Frodo moment, and real talk budget advice. So grab your notebook and maybe a second breakfast, and let's plan the adventure of a lifetime. Now, before we dive into all the epic locations and adventures, let's start at the very beginning. And that means talking about Auckland, your gateway to this entire adventure. Here's the genius move most people miss. Don't pick up your camper van immediately when you land. I know, you're excited, but trust me on this. International flights usually arrive in Auckland early in the morning, and you're going to be jet-lagged, confused, and possibly convinced you can understand Kiwi accents. Spoiler alert, 6 sounds like sex, and it's hilarious until you're asking for directions. Instead, book a cheap hostel or budget hotel near the airport for night 1. Sleep off that plain zombie feeling. Most campervan companies open around 8 to 9 a.m. anyway, and you'll need to attend a 30-minute orientation where they explain very seriously that yes, you really do drive on the left side of the road. Pro tip: schedule your campervan pickup for 9 a.m. on day 2. This gives you time to explore Auckland properly, hit up a supermarket for supplies because campsite prices are criminal, and mentally prepare for left-hand driving. The campervan depot is usually 10 to 15 minutes from the airport, and most companies offer free shuttle service. Book ahead during summer, December to February, because everyone and their hobbit-loving grandmother wants to do this trip. Major campervan companies like Juicy, Spaceships, and Brits have excellent reputations. Read reviews carefully, check what's included, and make sure you understand the insurance options. Trust me, a small ding in a campervan can turn expensive real quick. Alright, so you've got your arrival strategy sorted. But I know what you're really thinking about. Where exactly are we going to chase those hobbits? Let me show you the complete Lord of the Rings filming locations map that we'll be hitting on this epic journey. Here's your Middle-earth map overview. On the North Island, you've got Hobbiton near Matamata, the Crown Jewel, the Big Kahuna, the place where you'll spend 90% of your time trying to fit into Hobbit doors for Instagram. Then there's Mount Victoria in Wellington, where the hobbits hid from the ring wraiths, and various spots around Tongariro National Park that stood in for Mordor. Because nothing says vacation like visiting the land of eternal doom. South Island is where things get properly epic. Queenstown and Glenorchy are LOTR Central. The Misty Mountains, Isengard, Lothlorien, Amon Hen. Basically, if it looked stunning and dramatic in the movies, it was probably filmed here. The Canterbury Plains near Christchurch gave us Adoras, and there are dozens of other spots scattered around. Here's the thing, I'm giving you the GPS coordinates for every major location in the video description below. Why? Because Google Maps sometimes gets confused in rural New Zealand, and the last thing you need is your camper van stuck on a sheep farm while you argue with Siri about whether Glenorchy is even a real place. It is, I promise. Pro tip for the hardcore fans: download the Location Scout app. It's specifically designed for finding filming locations and works offline, which is crucial when you're in areas with zero cell service. Because New Zealand's beauty comes with a side of, your phone is basically a fancy camera now. Now, speaking of that camper van, let's address the elephant in the room, or should I say, the giant metal box on wheels. Is renting a camper van actually worth it, or should you just go with a regular car and book hotels? Let's talk money, because this is where your trip budget either makes sense or falls apart like my attempt to speak Elvish. Campervan rental for 14 days, approximately $1,400 to $2,100 US, depending on the season and how fancy you want your moving bedroom to be. Yes, that seems expensive until you realize that's your transport and accommodation combined. Add another $300 to $400 for fuel. New Zealand is small, but not that small, and gas prices make Americans cry. Now, the car rental alternative: $500 to $700 for a basic car, plus accommodation at $50 to $100 per night. That's another $700 to $1,400 for places to sleep. Total, $1,200 to $2,100. See? The campervan isn't actually more expensive. You're basically getting free accommodation. Plus, you can park at insanely beautiful spots and wake up to views that would cost $300 a night at a hotel. And yes, you can absolutely cook your own meals, which saves a fortune because New Zealand restaurant prices are enthusiastic. Here's the reality check though. Camper vans drink fuel like a hobbit drinks ale. Budget $30 to $40 per day for gas. Also, Freedom Camping has some restrictions, which we'll cover later. But overall, campervan wins for flexibility, experience, and Instagram-worthy morning views. The size matters too. A smaller campervan is easier to drive and park, but a larger one gives you more comfort. For 2 people, a 2-berth with a high-top roof is the sweet spot. You can stand up inside, cook comfortably, and it's still manageable on narrow roads. Perfect! So you're convinced on the campervan, you know where you're going. Now let's break down the actual day-by-day itinerary, starting with your first 3 days in and around Auckland. Day 1. You've landed, you're exhausted, you think you can power through. Don't! Check into your accommodation, walk around Auckland's waterfront if you're feeling ambitious, grab some fish and chips, and sleep. Your future self will thank you. Day 2. Campervan pickup time. After orientation, drive into Auckland City. It's only 30 minutes. Park near the Sky Tower. Parking costs around $20, but it's secure. The Sky Tower is impossible to miss. It's literally the tallest structure in the southern hemisphere and looks like someone stuck a giant needle into the earth. Go up the tower, 32 New Zealand dollars, worth it for 360-degree views. If you're properly insane, do the skywalk or sky jump. Nothing says I'm on vacation like strapping yourself to a wire and jumping off a 192-meter tower. I'll stick to the viewing deck with my coffee, thank you. Spend the afternoon exploring the Viaduct Harbor, grab supplies at a Countdown or Pack and Save supermarket, avoid dairies, they're convenience stores with convenience prices, and head to a campsite nearby. Top Parks campgrounds near Auckland cost $40 to $50 per night and have full facilities. Get used to your camper van because you're about to become very intimate with this metal box on wheels. Shopping tip: your first grocery run is crucial. Stock up on breakfast items, bread, pasta, cooking oil, and snacks. New Zealand supermarkets have excellent meat and produce sections. Grab some Whittaker's chocolate. It's a Kiwi favorite and perfect for those long drives. Day 3, Hobbiton Day. This is it, people, the big one. Matamata is a 2.5-hour drive south from Auckland. Book your Hobbiton tour in advance. They're 89 New Zealand dollars and sell out fast. Tours run every 30 minutes and last about 2 hours. Here's a secret. The first tour of the day, 9 a.m., has the best light for photos and fewer crowds. You'll walk through the actual movie set, see Bag End, visit the Green Dragon Inn for included drinks, and basically fulfill every LOTR fantasy you've had since 2001. Campervan parking is available at the Visitor Center, free, spacious, and Hobbit approved. The attention to detail at Hobbiton is mind-blowing. The gardens are maintained year-round, smoke comes out of chimneys, and you'll feel like you've stepped into the Shire. Your guide will share behind-the-scenes stories that'll make you want to rewatch the entire trilogy. Again, after Hobbiton, drive to Rotorua, 1 hour away. Camp at one of the thermal park campsites. Yes, your campground might smell like sulfur. No, you don't get used to it. Yes, it's still amazing. Alright, so you've had your Hobbiton moment, you've probably taken 500 photos and your phone storage is crying. Now we're heading into the geothermal wonderland of Rotorua before making our way down to Wellington. This is where the North Island really starts showing off. Day 4. Wake up to the smell of geothermal glory, or as most people call it, rotten eggs. Rotorua is New Zealand's thermal wonderland. Visit Te Puia, 55 New Zealand dollars, to see geysers, bubbling mud pools, and Maori cultural performances. The Pohutu geyser erupts up to 30 meters high and honestly looks like the earth is angry. If you're into spa vibes, hit the Polynesian Spa. Nothing beats soaking in hot pools while surrounded by nature. It's like a bath, but make it adventure. Day 5. Road trip time. Drive from Rotorua to Wellington, about 6 hours with stops. Break it up by visiting Lake Taupo, New Zealand's largest lake, where you can do another absurd bungee jump if you haven't learned your lesson yet. The Hookah Falls near Taupo are spectacular. Bright blue water thundering through a narrow gorge. Pull over, take photos, feel alive. Arrive in Wellington by evening. Camp at Wellington Top 10 Holiday Park. It's close to the city and costs around $50 per night. Day 6. Wellington, baby! New Zealand's capital is compact, quirky, and extremely caffeinated. Start at Mount Victoria. Yes, the Mount Victoria where the hobbits hid from the Nazgul in Fellowship. There's a sign marking the spot. Walk through the forest paths, channel your inner Frodo, try not to trip over tree roots. Visit Te Papa Museum, free! It's world-class and covers everything from Maori history to earthquake simulations. Then walk Cuba Street for lunch, explore the waterfront, and in the evening, book your Cook Strait ferry for tomorrow. Ferry crossings need to be booked in advance if you're taking a camper van. It's $250 to $300 for vehicle and passengers, and the crossing takes 3.5 hours. Before we jump on that ferry and head to the South Island, let me quickly share some photography secrets that'll make your Middle-earth shots absolutely legendary. Because let's be honest, if you didn't get the perfect shot, did you even go to New Zealand? Golden hour is your best friend. That's the hour after sunrise and before sunset when the light is soft and magical. New Zealand's landscapes are dramatic enough without harsh midday sun creating weird shadows on your face. For filming locations, arrive early. Seriously. Popular spots like Glenorchy get crowded after 10 a.m. You want those alone in Middle-earth shots? Be there at 7 a.m. Yes, it's cold. Yes, you'll be grumpy. Yes, your photos will be phenomenal. Camera settings. If you're shooting landscapes, use a wide-angle lens, 16 to 35 millimeters, aperture around 8 to 11 for sharpness, and a tripod if you've got space in your camper van. Phones work great too. Modern smartphone cameras are incredible. Just remember to clean your lens because camper vans are dusty. For those Instagram panoramas, use your phone's panorama mode or take multiple shots and stitch them together later. Portrait mode works brilliantly for those dramatic standing in Middle-earth shots where you're the tiny human against massive mountains. Weather backup. New Zealand weather is moody. If it's cloudy at a location, come back later or embrace the dramatic skies. Some of my best photos have storm clouds rolling over mountains. It's literally how Middle-earth looked in the films. Not always sunny. Okay, camera tips locked in. Now let's get you across to the South Island where the real adventure begins. Trust me, if you thought the North Island was beautiful, the South Island is about to blow your mind. Day 7. Ferry Day. Drive to the Inner Islander or Blue Bridge Terminal in Wellington. Arrive at least 45 minutes early because they're strict about check-in times. The Cook Strait can be rough. If you get seasick, take medication before boarding. Trust me on this. The crossing itself is stunning once you're through the strait. You'll cruise through the Marlborough Sounds, narrow waterways with green hills tumbling down to turquoise water. It's like nature decided to show off. Arrive in Picton, South Island, drive to Nelson, 2 hours, and camp at Tahuna Beach Holiday Park. The South Island is noticeably more rugged and beautiful, if that's even possible. Day 8. Drive Nelson to the west coast, stopping at the Pancake Rocks in Punakaiki. These limestone formations look like stacked pancakes, hence the name, and during high tide, blowholes shoot water into the air. It's geological weirdness at its finest. Continue to Franz Josef, home to the famous glacier. Camp at Franz Josef Top 10. If you're adventurous and have budget left, book a helicopter ride onto the glacier, $400 to $500 New Zealand dollars. Expensive? Yes. Worth it? Also, yes. Day 9. The big drive to Queenstown, about 5 to 6 hours through some of the most ridiculous scenery you'll ever see. Stop at Lake Wanaka, take the classic Wanaka tree photo, it's literally a tree in the water, but Instagram loves it, and grab lunch. Arrive in Queenstown by late afternoon. Camp at Queenstown Lakeview Holiday Park. Book ahead because this place fills up fast. And here we are, Queenstown, the adventure capital of the world, and more importantly for us LOTR fans, the gateway to some of the most iconic Middle-earth locations. Get ready, because the next 3 days are going to be absolutely epic. Day 10. Queenstown is the adventure capital of the world, which means there are approximately 47 different ways to risk your life here, all of them expensive and all of them fun. Bungee jumping, 205 New Zealand dollars at Kawarau Bridge, the original commercial bungee. Skydiving, 300 to 400 New Zealand dollars. Jet boating, 150 New Zealand dollars. Or just ride the Skyline gondola, $50 for views over Lake Wakatipu and eat a burger at the top. No judgment here. Walk around town, grab the famous Ferg burger, prepare to queue bien Sprite, but it's worth the 30-minute wait. And plan tomorrow's LOTR extravaganza. The line moves fast, and watching them make these massive burgers is entertainment in itself. Day 11. Glenorchy Day. This is it, folks, the ultimate Lord of the Rings location. Drive 45 minutes from Queenstown along the most beautiful road in New Zealand. Seriously, pull over every 5 minutes for photos. Glenorchy stood in for Isengard, Lothlorien, Amenhen, and several other locations. The Paradise Valley, yes, that's really what it's called. Beyond Glenorchy is where many scenes were filmed. The road gets rough. 4-wheel drive recommended, but not essential if you drive carefully. Take a LOTR tour if you want expert guidance. 200 New Zealand dollars, or explore independently with your GPS coordinates. Walk around, feel epic, quote the movies loudly. This is your moment. Camp at Glenorchy Holiday Park, basic but stunning location right by the lake. Day 12, drive back to Queenstown, maybe do one more adventure activity, or just relax by Lake Wakatipu. You've earned it. Your legs are tired, your camera is full, and you've got hobbit hair from living in a camper van. Life is good. We're in the home stretch now, folks. Just 2 more days to wrap up this incredible journey. We're heading to Christchurch to complete our South Island loop and bring this adventure full circle. Day 13, big drive day, Queenstown to Christchurch via the scenic route. Stop at Mount Cook National Park if weather permits. The Hooker Valley track is an easy 3-hour return walk with glacier views. Absolutely worth it. Continue to Christchurch. Total driving time 6 to 7 hours with stops. Camp at Christchurch. Top 10 Holiday Park. Day 14, explore Christchurch. The city is still rebuilding after the 2011 earthquake, but has some cool street art and the beautiful botanic gardens. Visit Sumner Beach if you want one last coastal fix. If you're flying out of Christchurch, most campervan companies have depots near the airport. Return your campervan, clean it first, or pay cleaning fees, and head to the airport. If flying from Auckland, you'll need to either drive back 11+ hours, not recommended, or book a one-way rental and take a cheap domestic flight back to Auckland. Alright, you've seen the whole itinerary, you're probably already daydreaming about those views, but now let's get real about the money side of things. Because adventure is amazing, but only when you're not crying over your credit card bill afterward. Total estimated costs per person based on 2 people sharing. Campervan rental, 14 days, $1,750 US. Fuel, $420 US. Campgrounds average $45 per night, XX 13 nights. 585 USD ferry crossing, 250 USD. Activities, Hobbiton Sky Tower Museum's gondola, 400 USD. Food, grocery shopping plus occasional meals out, $350 US. Total per person, approximately $1,900 US. If you're solo, add about 40% to most costs since you're covering the campervan and campsites alone. Money-saving tips, shop at Pack and Save or Countdown, not dairies. Cook your own meals in the campervan, free camping where possible. More on this next. Book activities online in advance for discounts. Fill up fuel in bigger towns, rural stations charge more. Use apps like Gatsby to find cheapest fuel prices. Here's a reality check. You can do this trip for less, or you can spend way more. Skip some paid activities and freedom camp more often. You're looking at $1,400 to $1,500 per person. Go crazy with helicopter rides and fancy restaurants, easily $3,000 plus. The beauty of campervan travel is you control the budget. Speaking of saving money and free camping, let me break down the freedom camping situation in New Zealand. Because yes, you can camp for free in beautiful spots, but there are rules you absolutely need to follow. Freedom camping sounds romantic. Parking anywhere, waking up to nature, living wild. Reality check. New Zealand has rules, and breaking them means fines up to 200 New Zealand dollars. Rule number 1. You need a self-contained certified campervan to freedom camp. This means having an onboard toilet. If your van isn't certified, look for the blue sticker. You must stay at designated campsites or holiday parks. Even with certification, you can only freedom camp in designated areas. Use the CamperMate app. It shows legal freedom camping spots, facilities, and reviews. DASI, Department of Conservation campsites are cheap, $6 to $15 per night, and located in stunning areas. The app is your best friend. It has user reviews, photos, and tells you exactly what facilities are available. Some spots are absolutely stunning with lake or ocean views. Others are just parking lots. Read the reviews. Safety tips for international visitors. Tell someone your route. Cell coverage is patchy in rural areas. Lock your campervan always. Don't leave valuables visible. New Zealand is generally very safe, but use common sense. Drive carefully. Roads are narrow, windy, and sometimes shared with sheep. International driving license. Get one before you leave home. New Zealand accepts most foreign licenses if they're in English, but an international permit makes things smoother. Remember, drive on the left. It feels weird for about an hour, then becomes automatic. Roundabouts go clockwise. Give way to the right. And there you have it, your complete 14-day New Zealand campervan adventure from Auckland to Middle-earth and back. Here's your action plan. Book flights to Auckland, reserve your camper van 3 to 4 months ahead for summer travel, pre-book Hobbiton, download Campermate and Maps.me apps, and get travel insurance, because hiking in Mordor without coverage is just foolish. Remember, this itinerary is flexible. Got extra time? Linger longer. Short on time? Skip some stops. Want more Lord of the Rings locations? I've linked a complete database below. The most important thing? Don't rush. New Zealand is meant to be savored like a second breakfast, not speedrun like Frodo escaping Mount Doom. Drop your questions in the comments, hit subscribe for more epic travel guides, and check the description for GPS coordinates, campground links, and resources. Now get out there and chase your Middle-earth dreams. And remember, not all those who wander are lost, but having GPS coordinates definitely helps. Safe travels, adventurers!